Hello everyone, this is Nick. A few weeks ago, I received a sample version of the board game Tofu Shifu, and I'm very surprised to see this kind of thing, and it's from a Chinese designer, Yi. They are a very small studio, and since Yi is in charge of the art, so their board game always looks very cute and very lovely, just like the designer. And Tofu is so far their biggest project, I assume. So in this video, I will share my expression after I played it. So how would you become a Tofu Shifu? So Tofu is a Euro game with worker placement and car placement as main mechanism, with an Asian food culture background. Players take on the role of manager of a tofu restaurant passed down by their grandparents who are the previous tofu master. The goal is to attract customers, train your employees, and expand your restaurant, while competing with others for the title of the most famous tofu restaurant. So interestingly, I've asked my Western friends, and they seem so surprised to know that tofu can be made into so many ways. And they don't even know there are restaurants that serve tofu only. I remember when I was a kid, there were people on the street carrying 2 buckets of tofu. They carry it around and try to sell it on the street. And in China, especially in the south part of China, soy-based products are very common food. And tofu pudding is a very popular breakfast dish. So I think this thing is quite unique among the ever-growing list of Euro games. And those adorable components come with the game, make it more enjoyable to play. Plus, the artwork from Yi's studio has a very personal touch, which I believe makes it stand out in the realm of board game. In terms of gameplay, players will move their Tofu Master token on the main board to visit different work sections. These work sections simulate key process in a tofu restaurant. To use these sections, players need to pay with colored hats. For example, the blue hat representing a waiter is used in sections on the main board where you attract customers or serve food, simply a waiter's job. And the yellow hat, representing as the manager, is used in sections like collecting customers' bills and recruiting employees. The white hat, representing the chef, is used as tofu production and upgrading the tofu production, while the highest level of hat is the master hat. And as you can imagine, the master hat could be used like a wild token. Although hat is a very key resource, but it is the cards that is really the heart of the game. So the card system in this game is a multi-use card placement. On the left side of each card usually displays a hat symbol indicating what kind of hat you can pay with when needed. For example, you need to pay a blue hat and you don't have it. What can you do? You simply just play a card from your hand with a blue hat symbol on the left side of the card, and you are good to go. On the top right corner of the card shows the cost and result of upgrading, typically making your resource producing action stronger, or unlocking new tables for more customers in your restaurant. The bottom of the card represents as order. Players can flip the card when they fulfill the order, and the order system is also one of the conditions that triggers the end game. Once a player completes 8 orders, the game reaches its conclusion. I think the multi-use of the card system helps maintain the smooth gameplay without overloading the game with too many elements. If a player draws a card that has many possible good use, then the player needs to decide where to put the card. It is a very important strategic point of the game, so your hand quality has a big impact in this game. So during your play, you will often find yourself in a win or lose situation that maybe you wanted to build up your production line and employee training system, which will help you to produce more tofu or more hats, which is very important, right? But for doing so, you need to put your car in the upgrading section, which will cost lots of resources. So you really need to plan ahead to collect the resources required for the upgrading. but as you put the card in the upgrading section, you will lose the button order that may help you to end the game. Not to mention, sometimes you really need to play the card for the cost of a hat that you don't have. So sometimes you only have 2 cards, but you wanted to do 4 different things. You really need to decide. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I am a bit surprised by the game's components. I really like the 3D printed model of different tofu dishes, and a clever dual layered player board, and a consistent, well executed overall artwork. I know there are so many good artists in this industry, but I believe the artwork in Tofu Shifu would stand out because its unique style. If you take a closer look at the board or the cards, you might notice many details about the tofu production in a cute way. I know they've spent a long time preparing, designing, and refining it, and I can clearly see the effort in the final result. And as a Eurogame, don't be fooled by its cute artwork. I'd rated its complexity around 2.7, as it does require some deep thinking, planning. It's not a party game or family game, trust me. And I've played 2 players game and 3 players game. I'd recommend that you play it in 3 players, as the worker placement mechanism works better with more players. In a 2-player game, the worker sections won't be too crowded. You don't have to worry too much about others blocking your way, which takes away some kind of a competitive intense. To be honest, I'm actually a bit surprised that they didn't choose a more widely recognized Chinese dish, especially those might be more familiar to the Westerners. I'm concerned that tofu is unfamiliar to them, since a thing in a board game is a very important selling point. And also, Eurogame is the kind of board game with so many masterpieces. So when I know Tofu is going to be on Kickstarter, I think it's a very brave move for a small little studio. And I'm really pleased to see an Asian, especially Chinese board game designer has the opportunity to showcase their work to the world, adding Eastern narratives, understandings, and expressions to the board game industry. Just like how Black Mask Wukong introduced to the world the charm of Chinese culture and its unique storytelling style. I hope in the board game certain work would appear too. So maybe Tofu is a good start. Well, perhaps Tofu won't be your all-time top 10 Euro game or something like that, but from my perspective, it certainly has its own unique place in terms of theme, artwork, and design. So I think it worth your time to invest a little bit more time about this project to see if it worth to be appear in your board game collection. You might really want to try some tofu dishes after playing this game. So as I mentioned, this game is on Kickstarter right now. I hope my video could give you some insights about how this game works, how this game looks like, and how it's played. And that's the end of this video. If you like it, please give a thumbs up, and thank you very much. I'm Nick, see you next time. Bye.